We're back.
2 weeks. 2 weeks later.
Episode 2, for the record.
Yes.
With Lengua and
Winter Wrong.
and special guest.
Say it.
Oh my God, me.
Who's me?
Who is me? who are you?
Who the fuck is me?
Do tell.
Hi, I'm Gami.
Hi, Gami.
Also known as Ultrathem.
Hi.
Thank you for having me, Charlie and Summer.
Oh,
Our
it looked like you're about to forget my name.
I am spending on venue fees, like you could spend it on talent. So then we were able to do that, and like we did that for a year, and then what happens within a year with the venue, prices change. So then we were being charged for the venue the second year, and it was a little tougher to like make the money back, and then eventually do parties with Souls Departed and Truvine and IMBT and like and Johnny, and they used to do this thing called Untitled Miami. That kind of, it doesn't really exist anymore, but we did that rave, and I remember trying, I think your music taste does change with the substances you take in your body. Like, not
It's
saying,
a different mind. When you alter your mind, I think
Yeah,
it's influenced by different
yeah,
things.
you're altering your mind.
And
yeah.
more open-minded.
More open-minded, but also it just changes
Different notes
your
hit differently.
perception,
Yeah.
I think, of like what you thought you liked. So
Yeah.
I remember I had seen these like rave films when I started throwing parties, and like it was mostly techno, but I used to say I hate techno.
Oh my God, me too.
I know.
It's so funny.
I
And
know,
now it's
yeah,
like
yeah. Here we are.
I used to literally tell people I hate techno. I don't
It's
like
so
it. It's so repetitive.
Yeah.
And then I literally tried ketamine. And this is not to tell people to like go do K, but like
Everything be
it
safe.
is what changed what I did with Alexis. And I remember they were playing more electronic based stuff, and then my room was playing more of like a wild card. I mean, we were playing techno in that room too, but I remember just like
Kind of comes full circle to what you originally said about you were throwing these house parties because there was nothing you identified with. There was no spaces.
Yeah.
So you created it yourself.
yeah, for the drag queens, not for the DJs.
True.
Okay.
I've seen that.
A huge thing about my party was like they would show up for the drag queens.
Gotcha.
Which I love and adore them. I mean, they're like my main supporters, and like really they're the ones that like really help me build internet friends, and like but they wouldn't really quite all show up for the DJs.
This is a different type of
This is a different format.
Yeah.
And do you find that still current?
Yeah, for sure. It's still a current thing. I remember I used to book like 7 drag queens in order to like get the party packed because they would bring all their gays and friends.
Also, immaculate vibes.
No, also like the best vibes. Honestly, like some of the best parties ever.
They're like dancing on the table.
Yeah.
Like they just.
But
No
they
one dances better than
don't
them.
quite like techno as
True.
much as I think they would. I mean, actually, when I started doing parties at the ground, I feel like there was a huge shift in like my attendance. It was like very not. There was like 20%, 30% of the 229 crowd. Magazines and these articles, and they'll be like, the DJ that is changing the world, and it's like,
It's changing. Yeah.
this DJ is, changing the world with this sync button. It's like, it's a lot. Like, it's like, there's a lot going on.
Not the sync button.
I think that like email I got today,
Yeah.
which I don't want to
yeah, we
mention
can't-
it.
we
I
can't,
can't mention it, but like,
Because then we lose the anonymous.
yeah, we lose the
side of
anonymous
it.
side of it. But I got this
100%.
email, and they were like, oh, you guys did this Annex rave at 229. I used to do raves there too, but like mine were not techno based. Like it was the first one I paid and everything, and I went in and I had so much fun, and I was like, wait, I really enjoyed this. So I think just having mutual respect.
Of course.
That's a big one.
Plur, babe.
Plur love.
Plur.
I think
babe,
everybody
peace,
works-
love, unity, respect.
Read it and
Capital
weep.
R. Like,
Respect.
respect it, babe. Like,
We all
literally
work
just
very
respect each
hard.
other, like, that's it. Like, stop talking shit. Like,
I'm looking for
that's
work
simple.
ethic and morals. That's what I like. That's
that's
And
important.
laughs.
That's
Yeah.
important too. But that also goes with saying, like where I was saying earlier, everyone has different reasons why they do it.
I
and
guess-
like their intentions.
I think just be kind to others while you're doing your work and
Be kind. Yeah.
and just work hard and things will happen naturally. You'll build really good friendships and good
Facts.
bonds if you just
Yeah.
if you are just spreading kindness instead, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't like it, keep it to yourself, you know?
Perfectly said.
Yeah.
Said. We're running out of time.
Okay.
So
Fab.
before we do, who's currently inspiring you? Who are you looking at? That's you know, you were talking about these collectives in Austin, but where else? What music is inspiring? What events are inspiring you? What should we be on the lookout? Like, who's doing it right?
I think. No, I need to stop saying I think. I know.
There you go.
Like, I really admire, as I said earlier, the Austin, Texas raves, really, like 1222, Body Mechanics, Freak System, but also from New York, really admire what's going on with like Club Carry, Discates. Also really love what Unter's been doing for a very long time. I know that there's a lot of discourse about that, but like, to be honest, it was very life-changing to my perception of nightlife and organizing events in the rave scene. Sound-wise, really love what Fast Forward is doing from Copenhagen. Basically been collecting them like Pokemons here.
We have the Copenhagen crew,
Yeah,
basically.
we've been having, you know, DJ Tool, Peach Life.
Matriarch.
Matriarch is from Bunker Bauer, which I also really love, but that's also Copenhagen.
Oh, you're talking about Fast Forward. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah, we just brought Shake, who's also from Fast Forward, and looking forward to bringing, you know, Vixen, Sugar, Rachel Noon from Fast Forward soon. Really just love sonically what they're doing and like the imagery of it. It's like they're throwing these really beautiful parties. So yeah, that's what's really inspiring me right now. And let's not forget the Miami-based collective Masisi.
Period.
Doing incredible work here. Shout out to Akaya and Ashley Venom and Terrell. They are doing something so, you know, as I said, it's different because raving is a different experience for everyone.
Correct.
It provides a different freedom.
It is,
for
and like
everyone.
what they're providing and the type of space they want to create is very absolutely important, which is like
100%.
uplifting Black talent, you know. So they should be having a Juneteenth event actually. June 19th. I hope I'm not spilling the tea too much, but they did mention it. So sorry, Akaya, don't come for me. But you did say it. So yeah, I'm super grateful for them. They've been attending my events for a very long time, Akaya, and we've been attending each other's events. So as I said, it's a support system. It's a mutual
Of course,
thing.
as it should be. There should be no walls or boundaries between. the
Yeah,
electronic scene.
totally.
They were celebrating everyone's individuality.
Yeah,
Correct.
absolutely.
Correct. So, which other world parties do we have coming up soon?
Okay, we have June 3rd, Lady Starlight. June 17th, we have Chipping Non-Stop. And we also have Polycakes and Puke and Sally C and Crombie. So it's like a very like
It's going to be
thick bill.
She's
There's
thick.
a lot
That's a
going
heavy
on.
bill right there.
3 C's.
Thick with 3 C's.
Yeah, it's very thick. Lady Starlight, we have Aquia from